Hello, welcome to the Trading Parrot. From October of 2023, we've seen this massive move to the upside of the altcoins. If you look before that, there was so much sideways and bearish action. And we could say that now the altcoins are taking a breather just because there's so much attention going into Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is also threatening to potentially make another higher high, getting closer to that 60% that many people are talking about. Bitcoin dominance means that the flow of the money is going into Bitcoin and not as much going into the altcoins. So in today's video, we're going to look into where is the next large opportunity to trade alts. And I'm not talking just about holding them, but also with trading long bots. If you're familiar with the altcoin season index, this is a phenomenal view of the market. It splits the market into three different ranges. This lower area here is called the Bitcoin season, and it's when Bitcoin is outperforming the altcoins. This area here, the altcoin season, is up 75%, and it means that the altcoins are definitely taking the spotlight and leaving Bitcoin behind. Since October of 2023, the altcoin season index has been doing nothing but higher highs and higher lows, approaching that line of 75. Taking a ride from the very bottom and investing in altcoins during a Bitcoin season, it's considered by advanced traders as something pretty risky, because during a Bitcoin season, it might be happening that Bitcoin is dumping, that Bitcoin is in a bear market, and when Bitcoin is in a downtrend, the alts are going to suffer a lot more. With a correction of 20 to 30% on Bitcoin, alts can correct 50, 60, 70, 80%. So an entry here doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be running a massive uptrend like we saw from October until now. Of course, many people invested in alts during October post the FTX collapse, and good for them because they managed to catch almost a full year of green, at least when we look at others that excludes the top 10 altcoins, and mostly green when we look at total 3 that is excluding BTC and Ethereum. As you can see, both are currently coinciding in being in a downtrend on the 4-hour. When you're in a downtrend on the altcoins, instead of thinking, oh, the market is no longer attractive, what I usually think is, where is my entry? Where do I pay attention? And in this video, we're gonna look at a phenomenal way to see in the market to try to spot in the earliest way and safest way possible the next entry. Guys, if you like this kind of content, make sure that you're subscribed, you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time that I upload a new video. And there are two things that you can do for this channel to help us to keep growing like we're doing. Watch the video until the very end and leave a comment down below saying whatever you want to say. I really appreciate it. So my preferred way to try to ride the market of the altcoins, which is quite difficult to predict, is to look at the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And as a starting point, I look at the weekly. That is going to definitely help me anticipating where is that season potentially going to land and how to enter the earliest possible. What many traders are doing is they are looking for a breakout. So what they do is they place a trend line, a sloping one here, and what they're looking for is for the Ethereum BTC pair to break out from here and potentially start a new uptrend, outperforming Bitcoin. And why are we looking at Ethereum when we were talking about total before and we were talking about others? Because the flow of the money on crypto does something really interesting. When things are very bearish, usually is the king, the one that first take the lead, and that is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin makes a move to the upside, sustain an uptrend for a few months, then it finds a period to cool down, and that opens the door for the rest of the market to mimic what Bitcoin was doing. So what altcoin traders do is they wait for Bitcoin to cool down. And as long as that cool down is not a massive crash, a huge correction, then they are fine and they start looking for those opportunities. And altcoins do not go anywhere at least most of them at the same time. You always get an outlier pumping here and there, but that's a different thing. We're talking about altcoin season. We are talking about most of the coins pushing to the upside. We are talking about whatever you invest, you're a genius because everything goes up. And in order to get into that scenario, the first requirement is that after Bitcoin has performed well, Ethereum needs to perform well. And as you can see, in the Ethereum Bitcoin pair is in a massive downtrend. And do not get confused. One thing is Ethereum getting to $2,400 and that you might be excited. But if you see, Ethereum is bleeding currently against Bitcoin. And it has been doing that since more or less August of 2022. So it's been a long time that it's been outperformed by Bitcoin, but it's not always going to remain like that. You can see here from 2019, there's a massive move until the top in December 2021. Let me give you another cool insight to outperform all the people that are doing breakout trading, focusing just on the price. If you guessed it, you guessed it well. I'm gonna add here the RSI. So first, I'm gonna tell you how to do it manually, and then I'm gonna tell you how to automate this so you get poke on your shoulder when things are starting to look better and you are the first one to know. If you focus on this area here, we have the breakout of the price. And let me tell you one thing, RSI is momentum and momentum precedes the price. So you are not gonna see this breakout on the price being above this trend line before the RSI takes first that move. So let's plot here a line similar to the one above. So some people might draw it like this. You can also draw it in something like this, like an average of the tops. Some other people might argue that we need to respect the past and maybe put it like that, but you get the full point. There is this whole range there that we can call the range of the RSI breakout, and what we want is that the RSI pushes strongly here and remains right there. Then we want a confirmation. That will be the most ideal scenario. You won't always get that thing, and then we can expect that the most likely scenario then is a push to the upside. Once Ethereum does something like that, then it's full-on party with the highest likelihood of seeing the altcoins performing like crazy. One thing that I do to get notified when there is this sort of breakouts is I set up two alerts. So I hit on one of the trend lines and I get this menu, I click add alert and I set up two different alerts, one crossing up the trend line, once per bar close. Since we are in a weekly chart, if there was a breakout, you will only learn at the end of a Sunday. And that might be the confirmation. That is the safest bet, but that might be as well a little bit too late. And that's where it comes, that second alert that you're going to set up. Instead of using once per bar close, you can use once per bar. That means that throughout that whole week, if the RSI was slightly above that trend line, you will get notified only once that week, but as soon as it happens, you don't need to wait until that Sunday. So with these two alerts, it's a very good compromise because you learn early that that RSI might perform the breakout, and then you start preparing for whichever bots you're gonna do, whichever trades you wanna place, and then on that Sunday you get the confirmation. And the second option is using an indicator that I find amazing. I have featured this indicator previously in the channel, and it's called the RSI trend lines with breakouts from HG. I can show you the script, and it's from Juan Getty. It does pretty much the same. The only difference is that sometimes the placement of those lines doesn't necessarily correspond to what I will do manually. You can see some examples of how they prepare those things, and in regards to alerts, you can get notified. So you could use whichever option of alerts, the one from the indicator or the one manually placed with your own trend line. And if you want to trade those alts and you want to find a setup to automate doing things, look no further than OKX currently supports webhooks, so you can send those alerts from TradingView, a massive array of alternative bots that you can run on OKX. You can watch my videos about OKX. They have signal bots, they have grids, they have DCA bots. You can automate strategies with OKX. They have absolutely everything. And I'm currently as well hosting this event to unlock up to 60,000 in rewards. So if you open a new account on using the link in the description, and once you have that account, you click join now, then the more you deposit and the more you trade, the more rewards you're going to end up unlocking. So guys, I hope you appreciate that this is a massive opportunity. Once Ethereum breaks out on BTC, we are not going to just be focusing on BTC, the ETF, and BTC doing X, Y, and Z, but we're going to enter a period of the cycle where the attention spans throughout tons of different projects. For a period of a little bit less than a year, you can expect that almost every altcoin is just pumping like crazy. I experienced this breakout that happened here that also was kind of forecast by the breakout of the RSI, and this whole explosion from around COVID up until 2021, where there was the top, was just mind-blowing. Literally every single thing that you invested, if you take your money and run around 2021, you will be many X's up in returns. Alright guys, I hope you appreciate this content. If you did, remember to leave a comment before you go anywhere. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.